In the vast and unpredictable world of GTA 5, there's a certain artistry to choosing the right weapon for the job.
Are you trying to fuck with me?
Today, we'll be exploring a specific set of tools, the ones that require you to get up close and personal with your enemy. Through a careful balance of cost, stats, animations, damage, rarity, and more, we'll reveal the melee weapons that truly stand out. I would like to quickly apologize for the audio and video quality on this video. I know it's not quite up to standards on this channel, but I've had major issues over the last 3 weeks with my computer, having to send it across the country and then get it back and send it across the country again. I bought a new computer. I just got a new one outright, so we should be running into less issues now and things should be going more smoothly moving forward. But thank you all so much for holding in here and enjoy the video. In last place, and yes, this list is up to personal preference, so you can move things around as you see fit, is the golf club. This weapon should honestly stick to the putting green because it has a really weird spawn rate and isn't purchasable online, making it a pretty basic choice for up-close combat. In 19th is the pool cue, which has very similar animations to the golf club, however, it just feels a little bit more stylish and came with the Buckacherz DLC in 2016. Unlike the club, this weapon can be found at ammunition for around $6,000. The crowbar only ended up in this place because it has a slightly further reach than the previous two weapons. This is likely due to the fact that it's only one-handed, so you get a bit more arm length in there. The baseball bat again has the same animations as the club and the cue, but it gives that satisfying thud sound and it just looks more fitting. It's also one of only 3 melee weapons that can be purchased at the gun van, and it also deals twice as much damage as the crowbar. The pipe wrench may be expensive, however there is something so satisfying to me about using a long, heavy hunk of metal to smack passerbys with, especially if you're cruising along on a bike. This is also available at ammunition. Now this may not be the biggest or the strongest or the most stylish weapon of them all, but who doesn't just want to smash someone's skull in with a hammer, right? Wait, no, like in game. I don't mean... Don't post that out of context. The flashlight is the first thing on this list that actually has another use aside from just murdering innocent bystanders. And believe it or not, the flashlight actually works as a flashlight. So, that's cool, right? I would say this weapon is most iconic in the slasher game modes and can make for some pretty funny moments. Fun fact, the icon for the flashlight when riding a motorbike is weirdly small compared to every other weapon. You know, this would make a pretty good weapon. Now, I don't think it'd be fair if we didn't at least mention some of the melee weapons that were available in previous GTA games, but were never brought to GTA 5. So, in no particular order, here they are. The screwdriver, the chisel, the butterfly knife, the meat cleaver, the fire axe, the katana, the sword, the chainsaw, the hockey stick, the shovel, the gaff hook, flowers, a dildo, and a vibrator. Which ones would you want to see added in GTA 5? Personally, for me, it's either the hockey stick, the meat cleaver, or the chainsaw. Getting back on track, the nightstick is a very solid, but also very basic whacking stick. But I do believe, however, that due to its general popularity and accessibility, that it deserved to be a little higher on the list. It's also usable from a bike and has a bit more reach than most melee weapons in the game. And it only costs $400 if you don't want to pick it up for free. The bottle is simple. There's not really much to say. It has decent reach for its size, and it does a decent chunk of damage. What else can I say about the bottle? It costs $300 at ammunition. If you actually wanted to buy it, you could just probably find it on the side of the street. That's all I got. The knife is one of the first melee weapons that you're likely to use in the game, story mode or online. It's simple, easy to access, and has some unique animations involving both stabbing and slashing movements. So like this knife, there's never really a dull moment when swinging this around. The knife is also the only weapon that can be picked up around the map, in ammunition, and in the gun van. The hatchet is likely one of my favorites, mostly due to its gruesome and over-the-top animations. We'll also see these animations on some other axes and weapons later in the video. The hatchet, however being usable from a bike, deals a very mid-level of damage, which is weird considering it can send people into a full cartwheel. Now this is the newest addition to the melee weapon loadout. So new, in fact, that it's not even available yet. The stun rod looks to be fairly straightforward as far as weapons go, and this will basically just be an electrified nightstick, which probably feels good enough to crack the top 10, but we'll see where it sits after it releases. The antique cavalry dagger was added in 2014 and does more damage than the regular knife. According to the in-game stats, the cavalry dagger has the furthest reach of any melee weapon, though when tested I never really noticed any differences. But it is good enough to throw it a little higher on the list. The machete also uses similar animations to the hatchet, which makes it quite unique. The machete is iconic when it comes to melee attacks, and again the slasher game mode. And it feels just as deadly when riding down the beach on a motorbike, slashing away at people as you go. The battle axe is just a more sleek hatchet, using the same animations and movements as the other axes, but this version, however, is the most expensive combat weapon in the entire game, costing nearly $10,000. In 5th place, the brass knuckles are the most customizable melee weapon in the entire game, having 10 different variants available in ammunition and the gun band. It also has some unique animations from side swings, jabs, and uppercuts. Sure, it may not be the best, but it is stylish and I think it's deserving of 5th place. The Switchblade is the only weapon on this list with the unique animation, specifically for equipping and unequipping it. As you see, you whip it out like you would an actual Switchblade, and this really helped the knife get this high on the list. It also has 3 different variants available, which gives it a bit more customizable flair, making it and the Knuckle Dusters the only customizable melee weapons in the game. As we enter the top 3, some people might be wondering, well, what's even left? And that doesn't really come as a surprise to me, as some of the top 3 are the rarest melee weapons in the entire game. And speaking of rare things, did you know that there's over 200 rare car liveries in the entire game that we may never be able to own ever again? Well, I've made a master list of all of these liveries, and we'll be showcasing and covering every single one in the coming weeks. So if that interests you, make sure to get that little bell turned on down there for notifications so that you know exactly when the video goes live. But as for the rarest melee weapon in the entire game, that would have to go to the Candy Cane, which was only available for players who signed in during the festive surprise event in 2022, 2 years ago. The Candy Cane also makes small jingle bell noises when you kill somebody, which is a very unique feature. Just listen. Shit. I'm just really sad that this isn't usable on a bike. Now, some may say that this isn't a melee weapon, and I'd kind of agree, but it's still used as a melee attack, so the fist/unarmed option gets 2nd place. If you think it shouldn't be anywhere on this list, then feel free to skip ahead and ignore that this is even in here. But the unarmed attack has the most animations and is most likely to be used by any player. Sure, a regular punch is kind of boring and the kick isn't much better, but the uppercut and side swing punches just land so well. Not to mention the best animation of them all.
What?
Like, tell me this isn't badass enough to get at least somewhere on this list. Which means that the Stone Hatchet is the best melee weapon in the entire game. Having the highest damage of all the weapons in this list, and being usable from a bike, this weapon also grants the player Rampage mode, all for free. The Rampage mode is very similar to Trevor's special ability in Story mode, giving the player extra strength to run up to armed NPCs and take full shotgun shells at the chest without a flinch. This axe also has the unique animations of all the other axes, giving it some really unique flair. Though this axe is not available in the gun van or ammunition, it's instead available as a reward of a treasure hunt, meaning to get this weapon, you'll actually make money. So personally, I think this is by far the best on this entire list. But if you think there's a different best melee weapon in GTA 5, let me know what you think it is in the comments below. And while you wait for the rarest car liveries video, check out my other ranking videos, such as this one here. I'm just gonna fade out of existence now. Peace.